Welcome to Lesson 10E, One-Dimensional Compressible Flows. This will be a short qualitative lesson where we compare and summarize how properties change in the 4 one-dimensional flows that we've discussed in this course, and I'll provide a downloadable summary chart for these flows. Let's look back at what we've discussed. First, we discussed isentropic flow with variable area, and in all these flows, we'll discuss the subsonic and supersonic cases. Consider a subsonic converging duct and a supersonic converging duct. In all these cases, flow is from left to right, and 1 is at the inlet and 2 is at the outlet. In the subsonic case, M1 is less than 1, and Mach number approaches 1, so Mach number goes up. Meanwhile, temperature goes down and pressure goes down. In the supersonic case, M1 is greater than 1, but we still approached choke flow where M is 1. So M goes down, T goes up, and P goes up. These 3 are opposite between subsonic and supersonic. The second one-dimensional flow we talked about was a normal shock, which is not isentropic. There's no such thing as a subsonic shock, so this subsonic case does not apply. In the supersonic case, we have an insulated adiabatic duct with a shock from 1 to 2. M1 is supersonic and M2 is subsonic. In this case, Mach number goes down, temperature goes up, and pressure goes up. The exact same behavior that we had for a supersonic converging duct. Next, we talked about Rayleigh flow, and I'll look at the condition where we add heat. You can also look at the case where we remove heat, and most of these properties do the opposite. If Mach number goes up when you add heat, it goes down when you take heat away, for example. In this case, we again have a constant area duct with flow from 1 to 2, but we add heat. In the subsonic case, Mach number goes up, temperature goes up, then down in the strange zone, but pressure just goes down. And in the supersonic case, I'll paste this here, but draw M1 bigger than M2 because M goes down, temperature goes up, and pressure goes up. Finally, we analyzed Fanno flow, where we had no heat added, but we had friction, whereas with Rayleigh, we had no friction. Again, we assume adiabatic walls, but we have friction force acting on the walls, again from 1 to 2. In the subsonic case, M goes up, T goes down, and P goes down. These are very similar to each other, except for this part. The strange zone actually has the same temperature behavior in Rayleigh flow as Fanno flow. And for the supersonic case, Mach number decreases from 1 to 2 instead of increasing. Again, opposite behavior. In this case, exactly opposite between subsonic and supersonic. In all 4 cases, there's flow at 1 and then something happens, either an area change, a shock, heat addition, or friction, which causes state 2 properties to change.
What happens if you got 2 of these flows simultaneously? Yeah, like you got Duck and me simultaneously. For example, what if you got Fanno flow and Rayleigh flow, or friction and heat transfer all at the same time?
Well, Duck and Dick, that's a good question. I'd have to use all 3 conservation equations, mass, momentum, and energy, along with the ideal gas equations, TDS equations, and any other thermodynamics equations I might need to solve that case. But it would most likely not result in an analytical solution, but rather we'd have to do a step-by-step marching process along the duct, with properties changing with each small delta x.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Well, I put all 4 of these together in one summary chart. You can find a link in the description for this YouTube video, or just scan this QR code here to get a downloadable PDF file. Here's the property change chart for our 4 one-dimensional flows. I sketched the flow along with the change, area change, shock, heat addition, and friction on the walls. Here are the conservation equations, mass, momentum, and energy for each case, Notice that momentum is not used in the converging duct. The diverging case here is pretty much opposite, and the heat removal case for Rayleigh flow is pretty much opposite. So I don't show those two cases. But here I summarize what happens to all these variables or properties as you go through the change, area, shock, etc. I just want to point out a few things. Conservation of mass is the same for these three cases, but differs from the converging duct because of the area change. Momentum equation is the same for the shock and Rayleigh flow, but not the same for Fanno flow because of the friction term. Similarly, energy equation is the same for three of them, but not for Rayleigh flow, since we're adding heat. The converging duct is the only one that's isentropic. We have irreversibilities across a shock. We're adding heat to change entropy here, and we have an irreversible friction loss in Fanno flow. So in all these other cases, specific entropy increases. I'll point out a few things to help you remember this chart, and I would like you to be able to fill in these arrows for each of these flows. I'd start with the converging duct because we know that V and M go up in the subsonic case. Supersonic is opposite, but notice that V and M behave the same in all these four cases for the supersonic case. And for the subsonic case, both V and M go up. Temperature, density, and pressure all behave together, going down for subsonic converging duct and up for supersonic. For the shock, all three go up, and the same is true for Rayleigh flow and Fanno flow. For the subsonic case, all of them go down. They go down here too for Rayleigh flow, except for the part of the Rayleigh curve before the strange zone, and they go down here too. So except for the strange zone and this behavior, T, rho, and P all go down for subsonic flow and up for supersonic flow. Since there are no irreversibilities for the converging duct, there's no change in stagnation pressure. But stagnation pressure has to go down across a shock. I always like to say you lose some oomph. It turns out that P naught also goes down when you add heat in Rayleigh flow and when you add friction. This one's easier to understand because we lose some oomph because of the friction, which is an irreversible loss. But it turns out that adding heat also makes P naught go down in both the subsonic and supersonic case of Rayleigh flow, and in fact all of these cases P naught goes down. In the meantime, T naught does not change because of our energy equation in duct flow across a normal shock and in Fanno flow. But in Rayleigh flow, since we're adding heat, T naught goes up for subsonic flow and up for supersonic flow, since Q dot is positive here. So this is kind of a cool chart that I haven't seen anywhere else, and I put this together to help you learn and remember what happens to all these properties. A couple takeaways are that V and M always act together. If V goes up, M goes up. Temperature, density, and pressure always act together. They either all go down or all go up, except for this case, before the strange zone. In the strange zone, they all act together, though. And there's no case where P naught goes up. It always decreases. You always lose some oomph in the flow. And T naught goes up only when we add heat. There's no change in any of the others. So I'd encourage you to download this PDF file, maybe print it out and tape it to your bathroom mirror so that you can look at it every morning and memorize all these arrows. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. 1, 2, 3. That's all there is to it.